Hi, welcome to FAST or the FAST project. First off, a really big thank you for supporting this project, unless you've torrented it, in which case, screw you. But for everybody that has paid for the project, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the effects that we've got within this. We're going to go straight into the first performance, and then after that we'll talk about the principles involved and go on from there. The first up is Bergfast, so I hope you enjoy Bergfast. Right, Joel, you're familiar with playing cards.
Yeah.
Can you just name a suit?
Okay. Hearts.
Hearts, okay.
Yeah.
I should be clear on what's going to happen here. In this deck, I've taken one playing card, I've isolated it in a specific spot. I'm going to have you home in on what you think that card is and where you think that is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and help you as little as humanly possible.
Okay.
What I want you to do, this is going to get a bit abstract in a second, but just decide upon a value that you feel that card is.
Okay.
Okay. And this is where we get abstract. So if you've gone for like a court card, I need you to understand court cards obviously have their own values as well. Jack is 11, a queen is 12, and a king is 13.
Right.
So whatever value you're thinking of now, just double it.
Okay.
And yeah, why not? Double it again.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
First time, what is the total number you've come to?
20.
20.
Yeah.
Pick up the deck. Deal down to the 20th card.
Okay. Face up.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17, 18, 19,
What was the card you decided on?
5 of hearts.
Check it out.
That is not the 5 of hearts.
Check it out. Show them.
Fucking hell.
Thank you very much.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Cheers,
Honestly, man, like, can I look through this deck?
If you want to, go wild. There's no other 5 of hearts, I'll be honest on that one.
That's brilliant.
Cheers.
Yeah. That is fucking good, isn't it? Really good. Yeah.
Alright, so that was the performance of Bergfast. We will go straight into the explanation for that. So Bergfast is the genesis of what this project is. We came up with, myself and Raggy came up with a version of this, and then Ian Raggy pointed out the obvious question, could you do it with any card? At that time the answer was no. And so I went home, thought about it, and created this, and noticed that I had put the deck into Stebbins order, or reverse Stebbins order. Essentially, the principle used in this from Stebbins is, if we look at every fourth card going down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that first card is an ace, the next fourth card down is a 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. It's that suit running straight down the deck every fourth position. The joy of doing this with the reversed Stebbins deck is, if I cut to any king, if I cut any king down to the bottom of the deck, that suit is now in the exact same orientation as the suit I started with. I start with the deck clubs, facing clubs on the bottom of the deck, because I've found in my work, performance-wise, for some reason most people tend to name clubs, and that is not a surefire thing. Like, you cannot just rely on that, but it statistically has worked out for me. It was more often clubs than not, which is why it's set like that for me. We'll talk about the suits a bit more in depth later, but the reason I've set these up from the face downwards as clubs, hearts, spades and diamonds is because the orientation of those kings. I know if you name any other suit, I need to get to that king and cut that to the face, then I know roughly where to spread the deck to be able to find it. So if you were to name from clubs hearts, that's in the next 13 down, well, it is the 13th card down from there, so I can very easily with my thumb just push over to roughly that area. The same with spades. Spades is about the middle. I can roughly push that over. I've missed it slightly, but just by one. And the same again with diamonds. I can just push that over and find that king very easily. The way I justify this within the routine is having you name any suit before any information is actually given on the premise. So name any suit.
Diamonds.
Diamonds, right. I already know where the king of diamonds is to be able to set this up. The box is on there just mainly for theatrical purposes. So I would pick up the deck and say, I should be honest with you here. I have placed one card very specifically within this deck. I'm going to have you home down on it. So what I'm doing there is opening up at that king, and I'm going to put the deck back together, placing this set straight onto the top of the deck when it's oriented properly. So straight onto there, placing that down there, squaring that up. That's going to set the deck up for diamonds. That is as open as I can do that. There are many other ways to get the named suit king down to the bottom of the deck. If you are good at a turnover pass, absolutely go for a turnover pass. It's going to make this so invisible. Go wild. Apart from that turnover pass, oops control would probably work, or just openly cutting the deck, anything like that. Would get you straight there. We've got a few other ideas submitted on this, but we'll talk about this first. So you've named diamonds. So I've picked up the deck, explained the premise in the action of cutting that king down to the bottom. I've placed that straight on there, the box, and pushed that towards you. I'm trying to appear as open, as casual as I possibly can. And then we go into the selection of the value, which is going to lead straight to the position. Which I'm so happy I've finally found a use for this principle. I've been playing with this principle, no joke, for about 6 years in different effects, presentations, even props. Michael probably remember a few years ago I created a Bizarre Magique thing with this principle based on Burke and Hare. And the victims on a list from 1 to 16 of Burke and Hare's kills, and you'd decide upon a victim and you turn over this little leather wallet which turned out to be a human skin wallet made of the skin of Burke, because Burke was skinned and his skin was turned into Burke skin books. There's one, no joke, there's one in the National Museum of Edinburgh. Yeah, and just pretending like this was a fake one and it would be inscribed to whichever person. Anyway, they're chosen. But yeah, the principle itself is, if you think of a number from, let's say 1 to 10 for now, I have you double that and double it again. That feels like you've got a really wide range of options. Yeah. Like, that feels pretty random, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, you only have 10 different options. They're the same 10 options, just bigger.
Yeah.
That's all that's happened there. And in placing each of the cards into the 4th position, because it's times by 4, is essentially all we're doing, it's going to place it straight at that number. That is literally it. So as soon as that king's on the bottom, I have you think of any value. Let's go for 5 for ease. 5 times by 2 is 10,
yep.
Times by 2 is 20. I would bet you all the money I own right now, which isn't very much, that the 5 of diamonds is currently sitting at position number 20. I know it is. I made it be there.
Yeah.
And it works like that with all the values. Obviously, within performance, I make it clear to point out that if you... Oh, God, I'm so sorry about that. Oof. That happened the first time we tried to record this as well. Somebody's drilling next door. We're going to try and get through it anyway. What was I talking about? Yeah, if they've selected, I make it very clear, if you're thinking of a jack, queen, or a king, those have values as well. Yeah. A jack would be 11, a queen would be 12, a king would be 13.
Yeah.
Whichever value you've got now, double it. Alright? You know what? Double it again. and that'll get you to whichever position. I'm very conscious of how I'm presenting myself here. I don't say times by 2, because that feels like maths. It's just making it almost feel off the cuff. So double it. You know what? Just double it again. Why not? Great. So just make sure your total hasn't gone over 52, has it?
No.
No. Great. That's fine. Cool. Just making that pier very casual and open. It just feels a lot softer. It feels a lot less forceful.
Yeah, it feels very casual.
Yeah, yeah, casual. And even though it is essentially a ranged force, it doesn't feel like that.
No.
It feels really nice and comfortable, if not anything else. And that's how you get the suits into the right position orientation. That is how you get the number generated. From there, all that is left to do is have them pick up the deck and deal down to their number. They can deal face up if they want. They can deal face down. I personally prefer having things dealt face down, because not only does it mean that if there is, I don't know, Rain Man in your audience, they're not going to spot the cyclical nature of the stack or the suits coming up. But it also means that there's a little bit more suspense, but I really don't mind either way.
Yeah.
As well as I try and make it, I try and reframe the process that's happened as soon as they're holding their card face down. I don't ask them, what was the suit that you decided on at the start? Diamonds, great. And what was the first value you went for? I reframe it as, and what was the card that you created? It feels like you've actually just openly created something out of thin air. You kind of forget that there's been process involved. It feels very clean, very open, very casual, and it just feels nicer, to me at least, theatrically.
Yeah.
I hope that's clear. Yeah, if that's everything that we have to say about Bergfast, then yeah, let's go on to everything that's been spawned from Bergfast onwards. There's some really good material in here. I'm really proud of the stuff you guys are going to see. The next effect is called Fast and Open. I really hope you enjoy Fast and Open. Stephen, can you do me a quick favour just to make sure this is going to work, or get as close to working as we can get it? Can you snap your fingers?
Yeah.
Great, okay. Do that again. Yeah, just going to move 3. Yeah, I think that's right. If I were to ask you if you're a dog person or a cat person, what would you say?
Dog.
Dog. Yeah, right, cool. Yeah, 3 was right. Can you do me a favour? This is based on pressure and decision making. Do you think it's possible to predict somebody's sort of cognitive abilities and decision making based on what I've just asked you? Honestly.
No.
No. Good, this is going to be amazing. What I want you to do, this is the pressure part, just at some point, cut the deck and then complete the cut. Yeah. Awesome, that's the pressure done. It's just decision making now. So I've got 2 cards here, that's all right. 7 and 4. 7 of clubs and the 4 of diamonds. We're going to use these, this is the decision making part, to generate a new card. So you can either have the 7 of diamonds or the 4 of clubs. What do you think?
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, you don't think it's possible to predict somebody's, like, an outcome based on pressure and cognitive decision making?
No.
No. Read that out loud.
12.
12. Pick up the deck. Deal down to the 12th card.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Stop. The card you created was the 7 of
7
diamonds?
of diamonds, yeah.
Have a look at it. Show
7
there.
diamonds.
7 of diamonds. Look at you, being proved wrong.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So that is open and fast. It is an open prediction using the benefits that is given to us by Sidestep and Stack. well, a modified size 7 stack, and a two-way out located in the box. Really quickly, the outs in use are 12, is written on a piece of card. I've just slid that underneath the plastic of the box. If you're using playing cards and you're ripping off the plastic and just throwing that all away, this is a really good thing to keep on your deck just to protect the deck in case, I don't know, it's raining and your pockets get damp or something. It's just a nice layer of protection, and it lets you slip little things under there to keep them safe. So that's the first out. The second out is inside the box, and it is 29. Written on our card.
39.
39. Did I say 29?
Yeah.
39. Sorry, I'm stupid. We've got to remember this. I'm stupid. 39. And that is based on the free choice within the thing. I do a little bit of guff, or shtick, whatever, around the premise of clicks and cats and dogs, making out to be assessing whether or not this is going to work. So it's just after the clicks that I do the actual change. So I say, just click your fingers. Do that again. Okay, so this is based on pressure. I'm just going to move, yeah, just 3. I think 3 should be fine. Implying that I'm moving a specific thing up in the deck or down in the deck. Realistically, it absolutely does not matter. Because this is going to work itself, but it's implying that I'm moving something to a certain position, which tracks logically with the way the effect runs. From there, I can have you cut the deck anywhere and complete the cut. As long as it's a single cut, this is always going to work, and it's going to keep the deck in stack. This is one of the principles that me and Craig both discovered independently. But we're using it for different effects. So we take the next 2 cards, so the King of Spades and the Ten of Hearts, in this example, and we generate a new card. So the King of Hearts or the Ten of Spades. Now, depending on what you say here, will depend on which outcome I bring out. If you say the value of the first card and the suit of the second,
Yeah.
then I know it's going to be 12 down from here.
Okay.
So the first value will always be like that combination, so the King of Hearts is going to be 12 down. Whereas the second value combination, the Ten of Spades, is going to be 39 cards down, just because of the way the stack runs. So I can have you choose, do you want the King of Hearts or the Ten of Spades?
We'll go with the 10 of spades.
Ten of Spades. So now, based on that information, I can say I've made a little prediction in here, 39. It's not going to make immediate sense
Yeah.
until you pick up the box, start dealing down, and then at the 39th position is found their card.
Yeah.
It's, basic open prediction premise. Joel Dickinson, who was here for the performances, had a really nice idea for saying you could pick the King of Spades or you could pick the Ten of Hearts, or we can make a new card out of these. The problem I had with this was that it would mean, like, obviously if you pick Ten of Hearts, I can't deal down in the deck and have them find another Ten of Hearts.
Yeah.
But if we were to have them find the mate, the match, then
Yeah.
that's easy enough to do. It does require, and this was just thinking off the top of our heads, it does require having a third out, which you could realistically have written on the other side of here, which would be 25.
Yes.
Yeah, 25, because from this deck down, the 25th card will be the King of Clubs, and the 26th card will be the Ten of Diamonds. So 25, if they've gone for the King of Clubs, just have them deal down 25 cards, turn over the 25th card, that will be the King of Clubs. If they've gone for the Ten of Hearts, have them deal 25 cards down into a pile, and then turn over the next card, so implying that it's 25 cards down.
Yeah.
Turn over the next card, that will be the Ten of Diamonds. So that's a really nice addition by Joel, with a little bit of extra work on that. I think it's really nice. Do you have any questions on this specifically?
No, you've covered the mechanics of it, so
Yeah? Great. Michael?
It's covered everything.
Excellent. All right, that is fast and open. The next piece that we're going to go into is it's going to be 2 performances lumped into one because it just runs together, and then we'll go into the explanation separately. That is Jack Fast and Fast Flush. Please enjoy them. This is the gambling demonstration of the download. Yeah, we're doing it as a download. Yeah, of the download. Please enjoy. Do you guys play cards at all?
No.
yes,
You do, you don't. What sort of games do you play?
poker,
Poker.
generally, yeah.
That's fair. Any specific branch or?
Texas.
Texas Hold'em. That's excellent. It's a good game. You don't play cards.
No.
Have you aware of any sort of card games
Oh,
in the
yeah,
spectrum? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know the rules to 21?
Yes.
Blackjack?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So for anybody that doesn't, we're going to do a quick demonstration. Just going to be 1 second. We'll talk through some of the strategy involved in 21. One final cut and complete. I'll deal you out both 2 hands,
Okay.
and we'll go on a basis by basis, one at a time, just discussing the strategy for each hand. Let's have a look. Okay, we're going to start with your first hand. Let's have a look. Natural 20, alright, fair enough. So, obviously, at this point, that's a really good hand. You would not want to, you'd want to stick on that.
Yeah.
It is not going to serve you well at all to try and play against that, because if you hit, you're almost guaranteed to get bust. Your second hand would be 18. Alright, again, yeah, you'd stick on that. You're not going to beat, like, if this was another player, they're not going to beat you, but if the dealer goes bust, they're going to get their money back,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is smart. Wow, you've had an easy time with this one. Alright. Let's see for Stephen. 5 and a 7, 12,
12,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, 12. Okay, so you would want to hit.
Yeah.
12's a pretty safe space to be sitting. Obviously, the best outcome you could get at this point would be, say, a 9, which would be a fast manufactured blackjack.
Yeah.
So, wanna hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That is a fast manufactured blackjack. Your other hand, obviously, you'd stick there. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away. You have garbage. Okay. 2 and a 4. That's 6, right? Yeah. So you have to hit. Well, you don't have to hit, but
It's beneficial.
yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, again, you're just pissing money away. So hit on that would be 6. So that's 12. Again, you're in the same position. You might get lucky to hit another 9. It's not statistically very likely, but we'll see what happens. A 3. Okay, so 12, 15.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into kind of danger territory,
Yeah.
because obviously, again, you're still in that position where you want to hit,
Yeah.
but you're getting closer and closer to
being
bust.
bust, yeah.
So do you want to hit?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, bust. All right, that's fine. But you're still winning here.
Yeah.
You're still the one with the manufactured 21. Of course, the only way to beat a manufactured 21 would be a
Okay.
natural 21, which would be an ace and a queen would
Yeah.
definitely qualify as a natural 21. But that's not natural. It's not. It's manufactured as well. Because I set this whole thing up. While I was doing the cuts and the riffle shuffles and stuff like that, I was setting up that queen and that ace into the position where it would come out. I also happened to glimpse a couple of other cards, which is how I knew the 9 was coming.
Okay.
But based on that, it's difficult to do that within the confines of a game, especially if you're going hand to hand to hand to hand, pass and dealer each time. It's very difficult to keep that going within the confines of a game. So other cheating techniques were created. The most commonly taught one would be false deals. You guys, do you
Yes.
do any false deals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
So
little.
a little. It's good. So you do bottom deals, right?
Yes.
You probably do bottom deals better than I do. For anybody that hasn't seen a bottom deal up to this point, it's taking a card from the bottom of the deck and dealing it down to the table as if it was the first card. A little bit, that was a bit ropey. Hopefully this next one will be a bit faster. Yeah, that was a bit better. The most common one to find in play would be the second deal. Dealing the second card as though it were the first. Obviously, with that card face up, it's not very, not very invisible. You definitely get caught pretty fast. So that would be a bit better, but you're still retaining that 5 at the top of the deck. But one of the rarest ones, and it's rare because it's an absolute arseache to learn, is called the Phantom Deal. Are you guys aware of the Phantom Deal?
No.
Okay, so the Phantom Deal is a way of dealing from the centre of a deck, but without moving cards to a specific location. It can literally done by touch alone.
Okay.
It's an absolute pain in the arse to learn. I'll be honest, I only did it because I'm obsessive.
Okay.
But I'd like to show you what's possible with the Phantom Deal. The only giveaway that you'll find if somebody were to use this in a game, which would be stupid of them, is if that little finger moves down to the bottom of the deck. It's the only giveaway for the Phantom Deal if it's done correctly. Phantom Deal, I'll deal as if it's a 4-handed game. No, I missed that one. Yeah, I think I hit those all. Yeah, that was a miss. What's the Phantom?
Yeah. Well,
That's brilliant.
yeah.
Okay, so that is Jack Fast. I'm going to pad this out just a little bit, you'll understand why. This is based on probably the first ever routine I created when I was about 16. I was in college and I was trying to portray myself as, you know how you're a teenager and you're an idiot, so I was trying to make out myself as like a bit of a scoundrel, a bit of a cheeky sort of Jack Flash type character. And I was learning different techniques from gambling DVDs and books, and I'd learned to cold stack within a riffle shuffle for blackjack, because cold stacking for a poker hand is an absolute not very nice word. It's just not fun. So I'd learned to cold stack 21 to myself within a 3-handed game, 4-handed game, 5-handed game. So I'd been doing that and using a very, very overt sort of book peek to show myself what the next card would be. To allow us to do, like, I was just jazzing what was happening in the other hands and saying, oh, you could obviously hit now, you probably want to hit now, but you might go bust, right? Hit, yeah, great, bust. It was kind of based on something that Ricky Jay had done within 52 Assistants, at least spiritually, I suppose. So I'd been doing that since I was 16, and then we were looking at this. I'd remembered this routine, and it just works. So here's the explanation for Jack Fast. You take the deck, you place the king, like whichever king happens to be on bottom, on top, and it works. You just deal it straight and it completely works. They will always have 20, they will always have 18, they will always have 12, they will always have 6, and the hits just work straight off the bat, and you will always have a natural 21. I set it up specifically so that the king of clubs is on top. That becomes important in the next routine. But yeah, you just deal it straight and it works completely. So dealing it through, this is going to be 20, you just see, I'll just deal it face up for now so you'll see it. There's my ace. It deals straight through. Obviously there's a bit of performance in this. You don't want to hit on that. That would be absolutely stupid. When the 18 comes up, you can talk about, you probably, like, you could hit on that, but you're risking going busk early, and if the dealer busts out while you're on 18, you're going to get your money back. Over when it comes to here, 7 plus 5, 12. you talk about this is an obvious place where you would want to hit. The
Yeah.
best case scenario right now would be you hit a 9 and get a manufactured 21, which was best case scenario. Hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9, 21. And that just happens naturally. It's so stupid. And then you go over to the fourth player. We were only working with 2 people, but you can use this for 4 players. If everybody's got friends, you can use it for 8 players, and just team them up. On this last person is destined to go bust. So talking through, so you've got 6. You obviously want to hit on a 6 because that is garbage. Another 6, great. That makes 12. Again, you probably want to hit. You might get another 9 and make up another manufactured 21 or blackjack, which would be great. Let's have a look. Nope, that is 3, so that would make that 15. Obviously, again, you want to hit. The next card is a court card. I think it's a jack.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
king. It's a king. So that is going to send them bust, which means you've got a really nice sort of theatrical gambit throughout here of a natural 20. That is a good place to be.
Yeah.
Natural 18, which is not as good but still returns. Then you've gone from a not very good hand straight to a winning hand, and then you're getting a nice eking out of getting closer and closer, and then just like destroying it. So you've got a really nice build of tension and break of tension within this last hand. I think it's really nice to play with that. And then when all the hands are dealt, you can just say, obviously you are the person to beat. The only way to beat a manufactured 21 would be a natural 21. And then you've got a natural 21 straight off. And that is the working of easily the simplest thing to do within this routine of fast jack. It was a jack fast. Fast jack, jack fast. Jack fast. I name things stupidly. And you'd think it would make it easier to remember. But I'm going to take a quick second to reset, kind of, and then we'll talk about fast flush.
Just before you do.
Oh, yes,
So,
yeah.
The way the last hand comes out, it's really nice because you're literally only missing out by 1, so you're still building it, and then when you miss it, it's literally just by that 1, so it still kind of builds the tension on the end, and then, you bust.
Damn it, bust. Also, it's brings you up to that natural. In a game of blackjack, you can only have 5 cards in a hand in standard regulation rules. So yeah, that brings that entire thing to a complete stop, which is really nice. But yeah, Michael, before we move on, anything to add on this, or are you happy?
No, I'm very happy with that one.
Great, that is whatever the hell it's called. Awesome. We're going to take a quick second to reset, and then we will go straight into fast flush. Or flush fast. I'll check that in between. Okay, so I know it looks like nothing's has changed, but that's because nothing has. We're back with the explanation for Flush Fast. I did check the name. I've left it like this because I'd like to talk about how I got into it from the last routine. So, this entire idea came about because after I'd finished doing this routine, I noticed that because I was working with clubs at the top, the next card down is the King of Spades. The 10 of Spades. Is it clear I'm a bit tired yet? Is the 10 of Spades. And then 4 down from that is the Jack of Spades. It leads straight into a royal flush. And I wanted to work with that and have a demonstration where I could lead straight in from this into eking out a royal flush. Just naturally, which means I had to invent something called the Phantom Deal, which is nonsense. When you get to the Phantom Deal section, you're just dealing straight. But to give that a bit more credence, I thought I'd throw in a few demonstrations of false deals. So I gather up these really quickly, just messily. This is a stack killer. So if you do this, you're not going to do this demonstration walk around. 1, it's completely the wrong theme, and 2, you'd need to reset your deck afterwards. But yeah, so I just wash these together and drop them straight on top, and it adds, I think, 10 or 11 cards back onto the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. Yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, straight onto the top, which means you've got 10 cards. 11 cards. That's where I was getting confused. That you can just burn straight away, and then these 3 are going to be used in the actual Phantom Deal demonstration, the mythical Phantom Deal. So those all go on top, and I start talking about false deals. I'm going to be honest, I am not the person to learn false deals from, but I will try and explain what I'm doing so you can get a grasp of how I'm doing it. If you want a better resource for learning false deals, there's a download called the False Deal Project. I don't think it's very expensive. I'm pretty sure it's available from most major online retailers. It's a really good download, and it teaches you all like center deals, Greek deals, strike seconds. I think it does strike bottoms. It's a really good project to have a look at, and it teaches you other effects that you can do straight with false deals. I am not the person to learn false deals from, but like I say, we're going to go through what I do. So once I've piled up that wash from the end of fast jack, jack fast, whatever, straight up, I'm going to take the bottom 3 cards from the deck and openly turn them over and place them just back onto the bottom of the deck to demonstrate bottom dealing. Yeah. The way I bottom deal is with my first finger. I bubble the deck to create a little bit of a spread here. I use that little finger to pull that bottom card out slightly diagonally, and then my first finger comes in and connects with that card. My thumb just brushes across the top while my little finger just hops out of place, and it just allows me to grab it straight out. It's not a good bottom deal. Again, I want to talk to you clearly about this. It is not a good bottom deal, but it works, kind of. Place it straight down, and then I do that again for the other 2 cards. So that's like that. See, done in motion, that doesn't look too bad. But yeah, that's that set of 3 completely spent. From there, I go into the second dealing, and remember, this is working with that bank of cards that you've put on top. So I'm going to turn that first card up while I'm talking about second dealing, and then I'm going to deal 5 seconds from the top. The way I second is kind of like a conveyor belt motion based on the double lift get ready. So I'm pushing a few cards over, and then I'm using my ring finger to push up on that next card, and allows me to drag that top card back. It just delivers it straight into my hand. So there, again, I'm just using the thumb to brush over that top card and allows me to pull that out. Because I tend to get 2 at a time, it delivers that next one straight into position, which allows me to push that a bit further out, get my finger into the next position. This is why I refer to it as a conveyor belt, because it just helps me push straight through. It almost automatically delivers the next card in the hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's the first set of 5. Again, it's going to be the same thing, but this time I'm going to turn the top card face down, because otherwise it's very obvious what I'm doing. And again, I'm going to second deal 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then show that that king is still on top. Done in action, this looks absolutely fine. Again, it's not the best second deal in the world, and I don't think it ever will be, but it's serviceable for what we're doing. So yeah, I reveal that that king is still on top, drop that down, and then talk about this mythical beast, the Phantom Deal, which I named after the Phantom of the card table, because anybody who knows the Phantom of the card table sort of legend will be able to connect it straight into what I'm doing. Anybody that doesn't, it just sounds flashy. And I talk about what the Phantom Deal is. It's dealing from the centre of the deck, but without placing them in specific positions. Just knowing roughly where they are and being able to feel them out of the deck. While I'm spreading this, I am just making for damn sure I haven't miscounted that top portion, and the 10 of spades is in the 4th position down. That is my double check, that is the safety. I would prefer to have a safety a little bit earlier to make sure, but I just can't engineer one in logically. So that is my safety to make sure this is going to go right. So yeah, that 10 is in the correct position. So I'm going to go straight into the phantom deal. The phantom deal is a misnomer. You are dealing completely straight. It's just done under certain actions that help it look like a false deal. Again, there's that little theatrical convincer in there talking about the way to spot a phantom deal within play. It messed with you, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Moving that little finger to the bottom of the deck. Realistically, that's not ever going to achieve anything apart from hold the deck slightly more flush. But it seems like something that you can look out for, which is nice. So I mentioned I'm going to deal as if it's a four-handed game. Deal to myself. Deal once, twice, 3 times. When I bring it over to myself, I make a point of dealing up a little bit extra and straight down. Risk killing just a little bit. It just looks a bit dodgy. It looks like something's gone wrong there. I do that again, once, twice, 3 times, fake. 1, 2, 3, well not fake, but fake. Real. 3, so that's 3 cards in. When I get to the 3rd, or sometimes the 4th, I go, no, missed that one. I haven't, because there's nothing to miss, but it's going to add an extra little convincer in later, so I do that twice more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I hadn't done that miss thing, this would be the moment to stop, but because I've installed that false miss, I'm going to run it one more time. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to kick this one slightly over, just roughly in the area of where that card is exposed. So I can drop those down, so I think I got them. Push those all together, just pushing that card straight into that gap. I can pick them up. Go, yeah, that's where I missed it. Drop that down and then reveal the Royal Flush and Spades. It is, to my mind, the easiest way to cheat out a Royal Flush and Spades. It works automatically off the back of the Blackjack demonstration. If you're talking about Blackjack, people are going to start thinking about poker anyway, so it's a nice logical demonstration. And I've had a lot of fun just lying about this mythic false deal to magicians. It's been amazing fun. Based on that, any questions?
No.
No? You're happy with that, Michael? Anything?
Yes, I was just going to suggest that if your bottom deal and your second deal is really poor,
Yep.
Exaggerate it and just say, I'm going to demonstrate how people can bottom deal and second deal, but I'm going to make it very obvious to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now go through, and obviously the reason why it looks so obvious or so bad is because you are illustrating it rather than actually performing it for real. Now, rather than mention the phantom deal, you now say, now that you've seen them performed in an exposed way, let me now do a combination of bottom deals and second deals for real. So now you go through and now you're claiming to have done perfectly what you've exposed.
Absolutely. But up the ante. Just say, I'm going to do them perfectly for real, one-handed. Up the ante just that little bit takes it into that extra realm of difficulty. But the reason that I do this one-handed is it's kind of hard to make a motion look unnatural when you're doing it naturally. Like, it's hard to make a real action look false. It's much easier to make a false action look real. So doing the one-handed thing provides that extra level of perceived skill, but it also allows me to do that weird action, which is a little bit harder to do and make it feel right but wrong within the confines. So yeah, absolutely, that's an amazing way to go about it. I'd just say up the ante, one-handed.
The only other thing that I would maybe put in there is to suggest that obviously all of these skills are useless unless we have the ability to memorize a deck, and now basically take the cards and maybe spread them on the table just for a moment, and then now you've apparently clocked the positions of the Royal Flush, which obviously then you're going to be
that's a really nice overt version of what I am trying to do in performance, in saying as long as you know where those are. I'm trying to subtly imply that I'm looking for something. I don't mention the royal flush until it appears, but I'm trying to subtly imply that I'm looking for something, and I kind of am, because I'm
Yeah.
looking for the 10 to make sure it's in the right place. But yeah, making that overt would be really nice and clear. I think the reason that I haven't looked at doing that is because if I spread it out for too long, like if you're talking about false deals and things, people are going to start thinking about poker, and most people when they think about poker are going to think of royal flush and spades.
Yeah.
Somebody, if they're quick, I think I'm running when I'm not being chased, but they might clock the deck and spot that the royal flush of spades is in there. Again, I might be being way too overcautious, but that's definitely a really nice avenue to go down. I would just make it slightly faster, so like a running ribbon spread, so like open and then chaser.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. And it's interesting you talk about memory, because the next effect is fast memory. I hope you enjoy fast memory. Do either of you guys train your memory?
I don't.
I mean, the wife wishes. No.
The wife wishes and absolutely not. Alright, fair
Nothing
enough.
in here.
Are you aware of current memory theory?
No.
Okay, so current memory theory states, I should explain it, it's not the memory theory that is currently in circulation, it is literally called current memory theory. It states that at any one point you can recall 7 pieces of information, give or take 2 either side, depending on stress level, stuff like that.
Okay.
So you don't train your memory, 7 is the base standard. Do you think you could recall 7 pieces of information?
Oh, I couldn't. No.
No? You reckon you could?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7, yeah. It is the base standard, but fair enough for different situations. If we were to take that into a bit more abstract, say 14, it's just 2 sets of 7, do you reckon you could do that?
At a push.
Yeah. If we were to break that into something a bit more difficult, break up chunks of 7 instead, say 20. 20 would be difficult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like 26 would be impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm sorry, I do that for a specific reason. Sorry, Joel, can you take a card out anywhere? Yeah, happy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Try and memorise that. We'll keep talking, but it's fine. I
Okay,
know
I'm
track
trying.
record, but I'll leave it with you for a few minutes. I do that alphabet thing for a reason. It displays how we learn to memorise things. We are taught to chunk and memorise things as lists, as complete pieces of information. So when you go into primary school, on day 1 they teach you A, B, C, and then further through. That's how we learn to memorise big lists of information. What I'm more interested in is breaking those sort of lists. So if I was to ask you, without going through the alphabet, what are the last 4 letters?
X, Y, Z.
W. W, X, Y, Z. Don't worry.
Sorry, yeah.
No, don't worry. Most people forget the W. There's an
Right.
easy way to cheat it.
Okay.
All you need to do is go to the end of the alphabet, which everybody knows is Z, and just do them backwards and then correct them as you say it out loud. So those last 4 letters backwards would be,
ZYXW.
yeah, ZYXW. The full thing is BZYXW, VUTS, RQP, ONM, LKJ, IHGF, EDCBA. Thank you, I am your god. No, stop me. It's just pity. But that, sorry, yeah, we'll get back to this. I enjoy talking about this. That's biased as well, because that isn't. I cheated. I just taught myself the alphabet backwards. I locked myself in my room for an hour a day, and I taught myself the alphabet backwards. It's mental masturbation, to be honest. And I'll be fully honest, I might be a better person had I just spent an hour wanking each day. Complete honesty. But doing things like this and keeping my memory well trained has allowed me to do certain interesting things. Have you got a phone with a timer on you?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a stopwatch or a countdown?
Both.
Okay, can you pull up the stopwatch? So I'm going to try and memorise a large piece of information very fast. My average for this is about 45 seconds. Give or take a little bit of space. Sometimes I go over, but I'm going to try and memorise the deck.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Okay. Count me in from 3 to 1 on 1. I'll start working.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Stop. What was that?
45.
45 on the dot. God damn. 45 seconds to memorise 52 playing cards. But I couldn't have told you what socks I'm wearing or if I locked the door when I left the house. That's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Going through what I've got, all the black cards are in the deck. I can tell you that for a certainty. Out of the red cards remaining, I believe all of the hearts are there. Do me a quick check. That is a diamond, isn't it?
It is.
Um, yeah, two diamonds.
Yes.
2 diamonds.
Well done.
12. Yeah, 12, 26, and 39. 12, 26, 39.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 2 stuck together. 13, 26, 39. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Fast Memory. It is based on a routine that I published in Mind Over Matter, my first DVD project, called False Memory, and we happen to have a certain degree of pedigree here because I am joined by the person who has probably seen the material in that DVD just slightly more than I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're certainly the person that talks to me about it most, which I really appreciate. But yeah, it's based on a routine from Mind Over Matter called False Memory. It is a memorized deck stunt. The difference here is obviously we're using the stack, whereas in False Memory, it is a shuffle deck in use. Uses slightly different principles, and there is a little bit more mental work to do in False Memory, whereas in Fast Memory, all of that is completely cut. But for that, you get a certain degree of freedom that you don't quite get with this. But at the same time, if you're performing something in a hurry, or if you don't want to have as much to remember in the moment, this is perfect for that. This is the better version if you don't want to be trying to memorize things in the moment, because with False Memory, there is some memory work, just not as much as you're saying. So this is the solution to that, and credit actually goes to Mick Wilson for realizing that we could do this with the reverse Stebbins deck, the modified Stebbins deck. He's the one that, in one of our jamming sessions, just looked at me and was like, "Why don't you do False Memory with it?" I'm like, "What? Yeah, why don't you do False Memory with it?" And so I checked, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it totally works. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that takes all the work out of it." So the work on this effect is... This is so stupid. Just touch the back of any card.
That one.
Yep, take it. I'm going to cut from where Stephen takes the card, I'm going to cut that down to the bottom. And it's done. It's ready. You have to find out a little bit, but not much. So from that position, I've now cut around like you would do with any steb and stack.
Yeah.
You memorise that. I do my long-winded. I know it's long-winded. I'm sorry for that. It's just how I prefer to perform it. Don't show me that yet because I want to talk about something. I just like the performance piece of this, and it helps me get into a rhythm, and I really enjoy doing it. From there, I spread the deck and talk about memorising it, and this is the work that you have to do. You have to count to 4, and then you have to count to 13, and that's going to give you all the information. Now, you could just look at the bottom card and figure through Stebbins what that card is. But why would you do maths when you can just, why would you do actual calculation when you can just count and figure it out? At the 4th position is going to be the correlating suit. I've just figured something out. Christ. You count to 4, whatever the suit is the matching suit. Just -1 from that. Yeah. Damn it! Just -1 from that value, and that's the card because of the cyclical structure. I'm an idiot. Just -1 from the 4th card, and that is exactly what that card is. And then all the work's done. The matching cards are naturally going to be at 13, 26, and 39, just because of the way that the steb and stacks works. That's all the work. I like to do a little thing where I'm implying that 2 cards have stuck together. We've tried it out a few times where I was saying 13, 25. So miscalling that one off, 25 and 39. We all agreed that it's kind of a weird progression to go from hit on the card, hit on the first thing, miss, off by 1, but still a miss, and then hit on the last one, even though it's a justified miss. So in performance, I change it up to be a miss on the first location. So you get a little bit of tension and then a break on the miss off by 1, and then you get rising tension, success. I miscall it as 12, 26, 39 in performance. But yeah, based on that, I've jumped ahead a little bit, but I do this full memorization thing of, so once I know that it's the 5 of clubs, and it is the 5 of clubs because it's the 4's there and the 6 is there, it's got to be the 5 of clubs. Once I put that down, I just act as though I'm going through the deck. I know it's not a red card. All of the red cards are there, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, good. From memory, I believe all of the spades are... Yeah, I believe all the spades are there. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So this is a club. And then just under my breath, I don't even think it's properly audible. I just make up an order for a few cards and leave the 6 out. So I just say, slightly under my breath, 10, 5, 9, 8, 2, 3, ace, jack. Yes, 6. 6 is missing, right? It's the 6 of clubs. 5 of clubs, right? Sorry, I just...
Yeah.
6. Yeah, it's the 5 of clubs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. We reveal it's the 5, and that helps to imply that the deck is genuinely mixed, even though realistically, apart from a few false cuts, we haven't we haven't done anything explicitly about the deck being shuffled. But I don't think the routine needs it for as quick and easy as it is. And then once you find out it's the 5 of clubs, reveal it's the 5 of clubs. Hold tension. This is the only acting thing that I'm going to try and teach you in this. Hold tension. I don't just mean stay still. I mean tense everything. I've tensed my shoulders, I've tensed my chest, my neck is a little bit tensed, my fingers are a little bit tensed. I am physically holding tension because anything that you're experiencing as a performer leaks onto the audience. It feels tense because I'm holding this tension. So hold tension. Beat, 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 beat. Just leave it silent for as long as you're comfortable. When you start to get uncomfortable, then say 12. Or if you're not going to do the miss, say 13. Beat, 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 26, and so on. It just feels more important. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, from a audience perspective, they're sitting there going, okay,
Yeah.
where's he going?
Yeah.
But they're still following along. They're still caught.
Yeah, I deliberately don't say, okay, the other fives are at 13, 26, 39. I want to leave it a little bit hazy as to why I'm saying these numbers. I don't want people to immediately figure it out. So when we hit that first five and people figure it out, they get this weird little dopamine rush of, oh my god, it all makes sense now. And you just feel a little better about watching it. Weird. So yeah, I'm deliberately leaving this vague. Mick Wilson pointed out to me a while ago that what I've done is, within the confines of the false memory and fast memory as a whole, kind of solve that natural objection of if you pretend to memorize a deck and then pull out a card that's been moved positions or something like that, or name a card that's missing. The next natural question from an audience member is, okay, what's 17? Or, alright, where's the 4 of diamonds? I've just kind of naturally solved that. Completely by accident, but it works perfectly. So, 13, 26 and 39. Literally all you have to know coming into this routine. And now the mates are in... Let's speed up this footage, but I'm going to count through and find the matches. They're going to be at 13, 26 and 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. At this point, I'm trying to imply as though the rest of the deck, like I'm trying to imply I'm destroying my memorized sequence of shuffled cards, so I make a big point of slamming this section down. It just feels as if that's not going to be useful anymore. And the effect has come to a natural close anyway. I've made sure that I'm dealing these all straight out into a rough pile, but none are going out of space or underlapping or overlapping where they shouldn't be, because the easiest way to reset this straight into stack is pick the deck up, look for the first pair of black cards sitting together, because obviously the suit rotation, pick up the first pair of black cards, the 5 will go in there, 5 hearts will go in there, or whatever's relevant. Basically, whichever 2 suits are sitting outside that offsuit, that black or red combination, you're looking for the opposite 5. I wouldn't suggest doing this in front of an audience. I would say pile up the deck, add the cards back onto the top of the deck, and then like later, once you've walked away from a table or in between sets at a parlour event or something, then reset this. But so that 5 goes straight back in there. Now I'm looking for 2 reds sitting together. And then that'll be that next 5, 5 of spades, because the clubs are surrounding the 2 reds. And 2 black cards, there we go. The 5 of diamonds. And then the 5 of clubs goes on top. And because I'm probably going to go back into doing Bergfast after this or anything like that, I'm going to cut the King of Clubs back up to the top, and that is the deck completely restacked. Any other questions on fast memory?
Yes, obviously, as you've been explaining it there, you've made a discovery.
Yes.
A new discovery about how to very quickly identify the participant's card. What was your earlier method for that?
Right, yeah, so what I was doing earlier is I had broken it up into 4 and 13. So 4 would tell me the suit, and 13 would tell me the value. So in this case, we'll say the king has been removed from the deck. So 4 would tell me that it's clubs, and then 13th card would tell me that it's the king. But because maths, you just go to 4 and minus 1 off the value. And obviously in this case it's an ace, so you know the next card back from an ace would be a king. Because 1, 2, 3, 4 is a running upwards, ace backwards to king. Just works. That's that problem solved. But I was looking to the 13th card to tell me the value. Because that'll just tell you the value straight out. Whereas, say, looking at a 3, then I've got it in my head to the maths of, okay, 3 minus 3 would be 0, which would have to be a king, and then I've got it in a reverse stacked order for suits, so clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds, so it's got to be the suit that becomes before hearts, so that's got to be clubs. So yeah, it would be the king of clubs. I don't have to do that now.
Yeah.
I don't even have to do that whole count. I can just go 4, ace of clubs, right? So it's got to be the king of clubs then. I am making sure to feint all the way through the deck. Something that I started doing after watching some of Luke Jamay's work with his memory demonstration that I really liked is that oops moment of going back and like, no, that hasn't set right. That's I'll have to memorize those bits, something like that. And yeah, that's how I perform fast memory. Is there anything else you want to talk about with that?
Just one very quick thing to mention, and that is the fact that this sort of cyclical, this identification process is cyclical.
Yes.
So obviously, if we consider aces being low,
Yes.
then by taking 1 off, you're going back round to the king.
Yes, so you're cycling back round to the king.
so-
So if you think of a cyclical suit as being ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, and then looping back round, the next card after king has to be ace.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever the 4th card is, minus 1 from that, it's going to tell you what the missing card is. Like minus 1 from the value, don't move back to the 3rd card. I'm stupid, I'd probably do that. But yeah, is that clear enough? Is that cool?
Perfect.
Excellent. Yeah, that's fast memory. Okay, so really quickly, this is how to reset the deck into stack if you've performed something like flush fast, or anything, or somebody's taken your deck and shuffled it, or you've gone into another effect that isn't based on any of the work in here, and you need to reset the deck for any reason. So to construct it, you need to take out all the cards of their individual suits. It's Stebbins. I don't want to teach you how to suck eggs, but there are some important features in here. So unlike a regular Stebbins deck where you would separate them with kings on the top and aces on the bottom, you're going to take them with aces running downwards through to the king. We're going to be doing this all the way through every suit, and we're going to set the suits in order of chased but backwards. So not only is it a reverse Stebbin, it's also a reverse chased, which obviously makes sense when you think of the Bergfast principle of being able to push at a certain point and knowing where you're going from. So to set the cards into sequence, you take the diamonds, and we're going to take that and cut the 10 to the face. Everything below the 10 goes up on top of the ace. So that's running 10 downwards, back towards, yeah. On the spades, that's what that suit is. We're going to take that and we're going to cut the 7 to the top. So 10 minus 3 is 7. On the hearts, we're going to take that and cut that at the 4, so the 4 comes to the top. And the clubs we're just going to leave as is. From there, it's really simple. We're going to take, running right to left, we're going to take the 10 of diamonds, 7, just the 7 of spades, the 4 of hearts and the ace of clubs, and we're going to continue running through them straight through the deck. Great. So that's going to set the King of Clubs down to the bottom of the deck and the 10 of Diamonds up to the top, as you should be able to see in the little folded business card that's led you to this video. We've provided the stack down there as well. If you want to go through card by card and set them into position, this is much faster. It'll get you there much quicker, and that'll allow you to reset the stack into reverse Stebbins, reverse chased, and that's all you need to do the rest of the routines. Essentially, apart from the bonus effect, which I think you'll have seen before this. Yeah. It's been a very long day, and I'm just struggling. No, I'm kidding. It has been a long day, though. So that'll set that into a stack. Are there any questions about Cy Stebbins' stack, but backwards?
No.
Great. As I think I've mentioned earlier, that's why this project's called Fast. 5 astounding Stebbins tricks. Although you've, by this point, probably gotten 6 or 7 bonus things that you can do anyway. So yeah, that is going to set the deck entirely into the Fast order. And that is just about it. I think I've got credits and goodbyes to do, and then we are golden. So there are a few credits that I'd like to hand out for this, because honestly I couldn't have done all this by myself. The first goes to Ian Ragg. This was created kind of a challenge one night while I was at Ian's, getting hammered with him, and we were trying to create things in a very limited sense. Always how I create things, and the challenge posed was any card at any number with a bunch of restrictions. You couldn't use a gimmick deck, it couldn't be in certain conditions, you couldn't use a memorized stack, anything like that. Obviously I've cheated that one a little bit, but yeah, so I created a way of doing that, performed it for Ian, and then Ian asked if it could be done with any card, and at that point it couldn't. So took it home, and a few weeks later started playing around with different principles and figured out that this would work. So all thanks on that go completely to Raggy for that. From there, Mick Wilson is the next important person to thank. Mick sat down with me over a couple of sessions and talked about the Bergfast effect, and we started thinking what else could we do with the deck in the position it's in. And just through looking at it, playing around with different ideas, different principles that we found, we managed to create a load more effects. And I'll be honest, not all of them have made it into this, because some of them were just crap, or there were too big problems like logically within the effect to get around. But the pieces that we have curated into this are absolutely the best that came out of those sessions. So a big thank you to Mick for helping me out with that. Of course, thanks as always goes to Michael Murray for continuing to support my work and help me out with production and release. Michael has been a steadfast friend all the way through my development as a professional magician, and yeah, it's safe to say I genuinely wouldn't be here without Michael. And that follows on to something during production of this. Michael brought to my attention that there was a project called Beyond Stebbins by Craig Petty, and that there might be a little bit of overlap in material. So next big thank you goes to Craig, because I called up Craig, told him that there might be conflict, and just explained my routines, my principles that I was using, and it turns out there's a little bit of overlap in the principles that we've both found, but we've used them in completely different ways and for different effects. And Craig was really kind in allowing me to go forward with releasing this project, and really gracious, sent me over Beyond Stebbins project to have a look through, and there is some absolutely amazing work on that. If you want more work on stuff that you can do with Stebbins, absolutely hands down I recommend Craig Petty's Beyond Stebbins. I believe that's released through Alakazam. It is incredible. So yeah, big thank you to Craig Petty for that as well. Outside of that, just about anybody that's ever worked with Stebbins and released work, all of that, well, at least all that I've been able to consume, has been considered for different principles and things used in this. And a big thank you to my mum and dad. Without them, I wouldn't be here receiving this award. And to you, of course, the public who voted for me, and the Academy as well. And I think that's just about everybody to thank. Oh, God, obviously, a big thank you to God. And an even bigger thank you to Satan for allowing me to look like this. I think that's all the credits that need to be passed out at this point. If I think of more, tough. But if you have had a hand in this, thank you so much for helping me out. I really appreciate it. So that was the FAST project. I really hope you've enjoyed what you've gotten out of this. I hope there is, you can just hit the ground running with some of the effects, and if some of them don't fit you perfectly, if you want to substitute like the spread sort of displacement for a turnover cull or something like that, just absolutely please do whatever like makes you feel best. Even if it's just principles that you're taking from this and moulding into something new, that's absolutely amazing. Fill your boots, have a great time. A big thank you to everybody who has helped support the creation of the FAST project, and a massive thank you to you. If you're a first timer just finding my material through FAST, then thank you so much for supporting this pretty much sight unseen. If you have supported my work for a long time, thank you for sticking with me for so long. Have an excellent rest of the day, rest of the week here. Stay safe, and please enjoy performing FAST. Thank you, guys.